Hi, I'm Phoenix, otherwise known as Pa, or Daddy, or Father on the site, but my real name is Adrian. How's it going? So some stuff about me. I live in Arizona, though I'm originally from Ontario, Canada, near Kingston. I live here with my wife, Hannah, and my two daughters, Lily and Micah. Um, Being that I am actually an adult, I have a job. I am a dispatcher for a cable company, whose name will go unannounced, just in case you live in my service area. I don't want you coming to me with your problems, because I already have enough on my plate at work as it is. As of this time, I am the only male staff member on Everything Roleplay. And I'm also the oldest staff member on ER, ahead of Ale only by the tiniest bit, and leaps and bounds ahead of some of the others. So now that you know about me a little bit, let's talk about my role-playing history. I've been role-playing for a very long time. I actually started in 2000, the year 2000, back on MSN Chat when that was a thing. It doesn't actually exist anymore, as far as I know. But I started back there, just kind of hopping from chat room to chat room, and kind of learning about role-playing and figuring all of that out. I was 12-ish at the time, so it's been a little while since I started. In doing all of that, I met some people and eventually started moving on to forum sites similar to ER, though all the ones that I was part of were much more structured. They already had a setting in place. When you joined the character, you make one character for each profile that you had, and you played within the scenario. I've joined and played on so many of those that I completely lost count, but I have been on the admin team for 4 of them. There was Elderly Edge, Velgaran, 20X, and now Everything Roleplay. I've had interesting experiences with each of those, and I have to say, actually, by far, Everything Roleplay is the most interesting experience I have, just because of the way that the site is set up, and because of the way it actually works, and it's not one character per person. A little hard to keep track of sometimes, but there it is. When I was doing all that chat stuff, I developed the Velgaran setting, which is very, very dear to my heart, as I'll talk about a little more later. And it started off with just kind of a generic fantasy setting, and it's evolved into something pretty spectacular. I'm actually still working on it to this day. I did actually meet my wife through these role plays. I stuck with it for long enough, and we made a connection online, and that's how I moved from Canada to Arizona, actually. In 2010, I came to Arizona, and we've been together, and it's working out so far. So as part of my role-playing history now, in January of 2013, I joined Everything Roleplay, and I was just kind of expecting, a fun, open sort of community, and I was welcomed instantly. At that point in time, I think the only other male members were Harvey and Jace. Unfortunately, Harvey has since left us. Jace is still around right now, but so I was like, oh my god, there's another guy. We must keep him. He must stay. And I offered my assistance to anybody who asked for it. And before I knew it, Hale had promoted me to admin, and that's where I sit currently, which is why I have to make one of these videos. So, great experience so far on ER, and I hope that whoever's watching this has a great experience with us as well. And now we'll move on to some of my other stuff. So in addition to the freeform roleplay, like we do here on VR, or in chat rooms or other forms, I have a very deep gaming history. Starting in 1999, I got into tabletop wargaming. Most people know Warhammer. That's the most popular one. I played Warhammer 40k, which is the futuristic one with laser guns and stuff. That's cool. And I played an Orc Army, a very, very, very vehicle-heavy Orc Army, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Played the Orcs for a while. I did start a Town Army, but that didn't really take off. I didn't have the time or money to continue that habit. But instead, I shifted over to War Machine very recently. It was 2012 that I started War Machine. Haven't gotten to play it a whole lot lately. Having two kids will do that to you. But I play Crick's Army in that. And that's a whole lot of fun. I highly suggest both games if anyone is looking to get into that sort of hobby. So in addition to the wargaming, in 2002, I started tabletop role-playing games, starting with Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition. D&D is by far the most popular or best well-known role-playing game like this, but I have a rather large collection of these games. Whenever I get the opportunity, and have a great group of guys who play those with me, and that's a lot of fun, and it's actually strengthened my ability to play on forums because I'm able to switch between characters. If you go here, there is a list of actually all of my characters that I've played. Some of them came up from tabletop, some of them came from forums. It may still be a work in progress if you check it out, but hopefully by the time you see it, it's done. And if you have any questions, of course you can ask me where they came from or what brought them on. So I mentioned Valorant earlier, the setting that I developed in the chat rooms. I'm actually in the process of turning that world into a tabletop RPG. Let's see, I started that in late 2011. So that's been in development for a little bit while. My goal is to get it to print by winter 2014. So at this point in time, I'm really close to finishing it. I don't talk about it on the site a whole lot, but if you have any questions about that, of course, feel free to ask. If you're anyone who's interested in doing some beta testing, shoot me a message, we can talk later. So in addition to those types of games, I also used to play Magic the Gathering. I am actually still a certified level 2 judge for Magic the Gathering, which may or may not be impressive depending on who you are. My previous job that I had before working for a cable company was actually at a game store, where I was the tournament organizer as well as head judge for all of that, which was a lot of fun, but a lot of responsibility. Not that being an admin isn't, don't not say that it's not, please don't hurt me, Neil. But it was a lot of responsibility, and I really enjoyed it, but I keep my judge cert up every year just in case something comes up and I need to judge stuff again. Maybe I'll go to level 4 someday so I can get paid for it. My introduction to gaming, like so many people now, started with video games. And I was playing video games before I could walk. Well, not before I could walk, but very early on in my life. I will dig up the picture and put it in here so you can see me basically in a diaper playing Super Mario Bros. Feel free to ooh and ah, because it's actually pretty cute. But it started there, and because I was an only child, video games were my introduction to all gaming. And then when I had the opportunity in 1999 again, I jumped into the chat room, and that opened me up to everything else. That was my gateway. Freeform was my gateway into all my other gaming hobbies, which is pretty cool, I guess, if you think about it. And that has led me here to ER, which is cool. So now that I've talked your ear off about various types of games, I'll tell you some other stuff about me, some of my other interests and hobbies. More than a lot, gaming pretty much takes over my entire life, other than my family. But aside from all of that, I do have a few things. I am extremely interested in theology, the study of religion, for those of you who don't know what that is. I had some turbulence in my young life that caused me to have a crisis of faith, and I studied a whole ton of religions, practiced a couple of them, so that I could expand my knowledge before I really committed to it. I don't really identify with any specific religion, even atheism or agnostic, but a lot of the practices that I put into place are from the Wiccan faith. If you have any questions about that, I will always answer them, and I'm always interested in talking about theology, debating about theology. I don't like to Bible bash, because everyone has the right to their religion and the right to their opinion, but I do enjoy talking about it. I enjoy understanding why people think the way that they do, which leads us into my interest in psychology. Unfortunately, when I was very young, my mother suffered a brain injury, which caused problems, let's say, and it got me very interested in the way that our minds work. So I studied a lot of psychology, I studied a lot of brain science. I retained almost none of it, but it still is something that I like to expand my knowledge on. And because of that, I developed a love for science, physics, chemistry. Wasn't something I was ever very good at in school, but I do enjoy learning more about science. There's actually a really cool YouTube channel. There's two really cool YouTube channels, actually. One is Vsauce, and the other one is Minute Physics. Check both of those out if you have any interest in science, because they are very, very, very well spoken and very informative. They actually do a couple of crossword videos too, which is pretty cool. So, in addition to all of this very cerebral stuff, I have more, call them mundane interests. I am a huge fan of the works of Joss Whedon. And if you don't know who that is, by now most people have seen The Avengers. He directed that. He was also a writer for Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, and he was the creator of Firefly and Dollhouse. All amazing, all fantastic. Firefly's my favorite. I am a brown coat through and through. So I'll always talk about that if you ask. Music is something that everybody can relate to, and I have loved music ever since I was a kid. Now, I don't have as much time as I used to expand my musical interests. If you really want to talk about music, go down there, talk to Bird. She is the one who will hook you up. That being said, I do have a very wide range of enjoyment when it comes to music. I love classical, jazz, hip-hop, rock, opera, rap. Anything that you can throw at me, I will at least give it a shot. And I will look at critically, and I will let you know what I think. If you're a singer or songwriter, I love hearing you work. And actually, I'm a singer as well. Boom, my SoundCloud is right here. You can check that out as well. I don't have a whole lot up there right now, but it's going to expand, hopefully. I can keep the recordings going. And most of all, I love being around people. People are my favorite thing in the world. I love to talk. I love to get to know new people. I've often said the only skill I actually have is my mouth. In the event of a zombie apocalypse, I'm the one who's going to rally everybody together. That's pretty much the only skill I have. So I like to talk to people, and I would love to hear from you. So there's a couple of ways you can get a hold of me. First of all, we have Facebook. Boom. I also have Skype if you want to have me on Skype. I do have a Tumblr, and I do have a Twitter, though I don't check those nearly as often as I should. If you want, you can also check out the Facebook page for my company that I'm going to be starting in a little while. And if you want to get some extra insight onto how I act on a day-to-day basis, you can check out my wife's Tumblr as well. And that will hopefully give you some insight that you're looking for. And now that I am completely surrounded by annotations, I think this is a good time to sign off. So I hope you enjoy your time here on Everything Roleplay, and see you soon.